Shedeur Sanders has been, took part in Brown's rookie minicamp the last few days. He's been competing with Dillon Gabriel in the quarterback position. You got several rookies out there. Shedeur's throwing the ball to here. But, Matt, this is, caused widespread, discussion and speculation as expected across social media. But I'm really curious to get from you, Matt. What were your thoughts on Shedeur's performance in minicamp here? Are you happy? Are you up? I mean, I take everything with a grain of salt here, as I'm sure you do, it's a rookie minicamp. But nonetheless, I really like what Shedeur's done so far. What are your thoughts?
I don't think the Browns have gotten this much pub since ever. So they should be saying thank you. Look, from what I've heard and all the articles I've read from all the beat reporters and everybody, because I had 10 fucking hours in the airport, is that he looks way better and it's not really that close. Dillon Gabriel's a lefty. He's a good football player, but he's not Shedeur Sanders, bro. And you and I have said this many times on this show alone. You give Shedeur the trench talent that Oregon had last year, and I think he might throw for 5,000 yards and fucking 50 touchdowns. Like, you give this guy time and it's over. So I personally think, look, he's not perfect by any means. I know that he's on a learning curve too, but the clips I saw of Shedeur, him lacing the ball and putting dimes into the end zone, and the clips I saw of Gabriel are picks and like really bad footwork and not very much pocket presence. So I'd like to think that Shedeur is in a very advantageous position to win that job. I don't see how he can't be in the mix. I know that they've got two guys competing each other. This might be something new that we see in the NFL moving forward, where usually you don't get rookies competing against each other like this, but a third and a fifth round pick, you might as well be the same pick. It doesn't matter. Now that they're there, the competition is through the roof and people's eyes are on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a trend set moving forward where teams start picking two quarterbacks in the third and fifth, in the second and fourth, something like that. The Griffin, Kirk Cousins things was a first and a fifth rounder. That wasn't really ever a competition until RG3 got hurt, excuse me. But I do think Shedeur has turned a lot of heads. He seems to be extremely settled in with his teammates already. They're already throwing up the fucking watch. And look, bro, they're starving for real leadership there. Joe Flacco's a good seasoned vet, but he's not the future of the Browns by any means. True. Remember, this is a franchise that totally fucked up Baker Mayfield. Like, you had Baker, he won you a playoff game against Pittsburgh on the road. You were a possession away from beating the world champion, them Chiefs, that year in Arrowhead. And then he decided to go with old Captain Rub and Tug instead of Baker, and Baker turned into what he is at Tampa. So, Deshaun Watson's got to be gone. I don't see how Kenny Pickett plays. Flacco probably starts. And then I would not be surprised at all if Shedeur takes over, if they're good or bad, at some point in the season, if not starting week one. So I think that he's been put in this position, and whatever the reasons were behind it, that's over now. Who gives a shit? Now you're in this position, and he seems to be making the most of it. So that's pretty awesome to see, and for him to see him raise his level and keep a smile on his face and still be the same cat that we saw in Boulder. He's not the one controlling the camera. They follow him. He can't help if the camera follows him everywhere. Bucky's not out there on the sideline no more.
Nope.
This is Cleveland's media team now following him around. So they know what it is, bro. They understand where the money is. They understand where the shine is. They understand where the eyes want to be and who they're looking at. It seems to me that what I've seen, Dillon Gabriel knows that I think he already knows that he's going to be screwed here. Like, and not screwed over. Like, I don't think there's anything he can do to convince the people in Cleveland or Stefanski or anybody else that he's going to be a better, more capable player than Shedeur Sanders. Number one, he's a lefty, and lefties, their wind up, you can see it coming from a fucking million miles away.
Yeah, it's a different
totally different. And then he's not Steve Young. So, he's a good football player, don't get me wrong, but he's small. He's left-handed, and I feel like Shedeur is a much better fit for the offense. And you saw when he was going through all the quarterback drills with Tommy Reese, you saw them focusing on the play action and really extending the ball and turning in the pocket and showing your back to the defense and all the bootleg and sprint out stuff that we've been talking about him hopefully doing in Boulder. They're definitely going to do it in Cleveland. I mean, they run the shit out of the ball there. So I think this is an awesome, awesome fucking opportunity, and I'm glad all the draft shit is over with. And, Shedeur can focus on football, getting better, and moving forward. And look, there's been a lot of small quarterbacks that have been really good. But, again, the left-handed thing is for me, I wouldn't necessarily want a left-handed quarterback. Now, that said, there's been some really good lefties. But let's be real. There's a reason there are like 2 left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL altogether. I mean, come on. So I think that I think Shedeur's put himself in a pretty good position after the minicamp. Now, I'm going to tell everybody to pump their brakes a little bit here.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm excited about what I'm seeing, but he went 12 for 12 and had 5 touchdowns, and this is the best.
I saw that. I was like, guys, we got to stop with that shit.
Pump your brakes here a little bit. Nobody is fucking charting stats in minicamp. Like you gotta be an uber fucking nerd to be charting stats in minicamp, dog. Come on, dog.
Ooh.
I mean, we're charting stats. I mean, they didn't have one drop, and the ball never hit the ground. He was
I can't take it serious. There has to be
against a bunch of guys who are going to be working at fucking Papa John's next week. Like, I understand he's doing really well, but if you're charting stats from minicamp, bro, you need to find some fucking hobbies.
New hobby, yeah, exactly. Something else.
Other than this, you got to find at least a hobby. And don't get mad at me or get mad. If you get mad, at least I know you're the one with Cheetos all over your fingers, pounding that Mountain Dew Code Red in your basement while you Chicago backhand to the fucking SearsCatalog.com.
You are unbelievable. But no, I agree with you, Matt. I mean, I definitely pump your brakes, folks. But I like what I'm seeing so far from Shedeur. The biggest takeaway, Matt, is he's going to work. We're finally seeing what we've talked about. He's going to work and trying to win the job. I think ultimately his battles against Dillon Gabriel, I think the Browns, if they're not going to keep 4 quarterbacks, and they're more likely to ship a veteran than a rookie, in my opinion, especially if teams are looking for a quarterback. No, I'd like you mentioned with Dillon Gabriel being a lefty, you definitely have to adapt the offense to a lefty. It's a different, football that wide receivers are catching. That's something that people don't really realize. You definitely have to adapt your offense to a lefty, and it's going to be interesting to see how Cleveland manages that. I think ultimately it's Flacco's job to lose. I'm really looking forward to seeing Flacco mentor Shedeur and coach Shedeur out of some of the bad habits we saw at Colorado, and really help elevate his game and get him to an NFL level here. I don't see Shedeur starting anytime this season. Really, I think it's Flacco's job to lose. I think Kenny Pickett will probably be shipped off to a team that needs a quarterback, and I think Shedeur will battle with Gabriel the whole season. And God forbid if Flacco goes down, then yeah, you might see some Shedeur, but I don't expect to see him. I expect to see him as a starter at all. No way. It's not why they drafted him. My personal opinion. We'll see. But Matt, one thing I do want to show Matt is a reporter who was there at Browns minicamp. We talked about the battle between the 2 quarterbacks, and he says in terms of arm talent and throwing the ball, it's not even close. Shedeur is the better quarterback here. Take a listen, Matt.
Good question, because it's limited. But did one of the 2 look better to you in what they were asked to do than the other?
In just throwing the ball, it's not close. Shedeur Sanders.
It's not close either.
Close. No.
Wow, that's okay. Now that's news.
That's news. But let me couch that by saying this is rookie minicamp.
Sure.
No pads, no full speed competition. Nobody coming to knock your head off.
It's telling. They're side by side, and they're not asked to do much, but they're both asked to do the same thing, and that one of them looked discernibly better than the other. I think that I didn't know that we would get that out of this minicamp.
We're standing here, Jay. They're on the field. They break the huddle from team stretch and team jog, and they go both pick up the ball and throw it. It's no question.
Wow.
Interesting, Matt. How much do you take away from that? What are your thoughts in the comments there? And to the chat, Joe Flacco's won a Super Bowl, so don't forget that shit. But go, Matt, go ahead.
I think that yes, everybody needs to relax a little bit, but you can tell who's better immediately. So what difference does it make? Like, Shedeur's a better player than Dillon Gabriel. He's going to be a better pro than Dillon Gabriel. I think that he will only continue to impress as he continues to get reps. So now going into OTAs and all that bullshit, you know, he's going to get a ton of reps. We'll put it like that. So, yeah, you can tell from the quarterback position. I mean, he's not going to get hit in camp anyway. So I don't know what they're talking about. No one's putting on pads and running anybody over in camp that plays quarterback. But
that's true.
We'll see what happens when the vets get there. You know, like you got it, rookie mini camp. Even the people that are freaking out about Mason Graham throwing up. Look, let me just be blunt here. If you think that because a defensive lineman is throwing up at minicamp that he can't play or he's out of shape, you're a fucking moron.
That shit bugs me, man.
I threw up like 15 times a day, every day in practice. If it was 5 degrees, if it was 105 degrees, I like just go over, puke real quick, and run back in. I mean, I can't believe people are actually talking about this like this guy's not a pro. All you're telling me is that you don't know dick about football. Like you've never played, you've never been in the heat before, you've never.
It's humid there in Cleveland, man. Like,
yeah, bro, he fucking threw up. Oh my God, he's not going to be a good pro. Are you out of your fucking mind? Like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. So like this is the kind that's who we're talking to here. Like the average idiot that doesn't understand what they're talking about is going to think that when we say pump your brakes, it's rookie minicamp. That's all they hear, and immediately we're hating. It's just like the Shiloh in Tampa. Yeah, he played pretty well. Travis looked pretty good in Jacksonville. Jimmy Horn looked good in Carolina. Wester looked good in Baltimore. Yeah, it's advanced T-shirt time after the draft. You're like. They're not really doing a lot. Everyone's scared shitless of injury. They don't want to get their draft picks hurt.
True.
And I really think that all these guys are going to be really good players. Shedeur is going to be the Cleveland quarterback moving forward in the future, and fucking will roll. But all the little inconsequential things that don't really lead to success or failure are being super over-evaluated right now. So
thank you. Yeah.
You know, the OTAs are the next part. They are important, but they don't make or break you. So right now it's about learning all the ins and outs of the playbook, which he's been supposedly immersed and hasn't left the building pretty much. And that's awesome. But again, it's a 3-day experiment, and 70% of the people on the field aren't going to be there moving forward because they're on rookie tryouts. So let's see how they do when all the vets get on the field and the learning curve there, which I think he'll be fine as well as the other guys. But again, it's amazing to me how impressed people are with stuff that is just like, I'm not saying he's average. I'm saying it's just like an average day in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
Like people are just fucking blown away by completing balls in 7-on-7. Like I read some of the posts, like he's 12 for 12 and 5 touchdowns. I've never seen anybody perform like this.
Slow down.
Fucking legendary. And I'm like, oh. I mean, he's a really good player, and we all love him. But can you stop slurping him like this? What are you talking about? It's fucking like chill out. He's gonna do fine. He's gonna be a great player. Like switch just because he completed a ball in 7-on-7. Let the guy figure it out, dude.
Right.
Definitely. But the minute he has a problem, like, are you gonna go negative that fast?
Yeah, it's gonna be the opposite, man.
Like oh fuck, we're all screwed. He threw an incompletion.
Yeah, like I don't know. And let me say this about Dylan Gabriel. Like I don't. It's rookie minicamp. Like we got to slow our roll here. Just because Gabriel threw a pick and there's people are saying Shedeur's way better than him already and shit. We don't know. It's fucking May. Like we got to pump our brakes here with that as well, because I think that's ultimately who Shedeur is going to have to and will compete with this season. They just none of the quarterbacks. Like shout out to East Coast Kev for the donation. Like you said, none of the quarterbacks are just going to roll over because it's Shedeur either. So it's going to be a competition for sure, Matt.
I can't wait to watch those two compete. Well, I don't know who's doing Hard Knocks this year, but it should be the Browns.
Oh, man. I thought it was going to be Bill Belichick in North Carolina, Matt. And that shit, something happened. I don't know who.
Don't they have multiple they do college hard knocks.
So you don't remember that story? Apparently, so it was reported that they were going to do hard knocks, off-season hard knocks with Bill Belichick in North Carolina, and then it was reported that it wasn't going to happen, and then it was reported that the girlfriend played a part in it not happening, and who knows, man? But what could have been with that? Because I think that would have been electric, Matt. Nonetheless, but moving forward here, going across, sticking on some buffs in the NFL here, we see Leonte Wester working in Ravens rookie minicamp here. I had a chance to interview Ravens staff writer Clifton Brown and talk to him about how they're going to use Leonte Wester. It sounds like, Matt, they're going to use him as a punt returner and in the return game a lot, as well as on offense as a wide receiver for Lamar Jackson. But, Matt, as we see Leonte working some return drills here, what are your thoughts on hearing that news? Do you think Leonte would be a good punt returner in the NFL? We saw it a little bit Colorado, him taking one back this past season. And, what are your thoughts? Go ahead.
I think Wester and Horn are both going to be outstanding special teams players, yeah.
I agree.
I mean, I don't really think that's debatable. That's why they got drafted where they did. Come in, and if you turn into an unbelievable slot in the 5th or 6th round, then we're rolling. But go practice your ass off, be a dependable guy on during the week, and when you get your opportunities to shine during your time getting the rock, which is probably a lot of punt returns, go take a couple to the house. So I think it's a good fit for both guys. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them are significant players in the slot moving forward for both teams. I really like Wester. I think he's a hell of a player.
Me too.
And I think Horn's a hell of a player. So it's Carolina. Can Young get him the ball consistently? Is he going to continue to grow in that role? And then in Baltimore it's a crowded skill position room. Like, they got a lot of dudes. So Wester is probably not a guy you can put on practice squad and keep.
Yeah.
I'd imagine if you put him on a practice squad, he'd get plucked pretty quick. So he's got to find a spot for himself, and they have to find a spot for him, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
It's on both sides to find out what they do well.
Yeah, definitely. And I talked about that with Clifton. Like you just said, they're loaded at the wide receiver position. But I think their GM Eric DeCosta talked about how they're really looking forward to using Leonte in the return game and possibly using him on offense.